All right, guys, I think I've finally resolved this issue. So I just want to be sure. And, I've been having, I've been trying to use a new platform, basically. And over the one that I currently use, but that did not work. That didn't get one feature I be like, but, I'm going to go back to this old one that I've been using because it works anyways. So they all want to, well, I might get a chance for come talk to now, I want to talk to now because there's certain very important issues. And you guys, have you seen my title here? It's very clear. Why is the government prioritizing social media, over civic education and civic participation? They are prioritizing social media over all of these other, you know, uh, they are prioritizing social media over civic education and civic participation. And for me to explain this to you guys, I'm going to show you guys some video because this is a trend in Africa. I'm going straight to the point, guys. I'm not going to waste time. Thank you for joining me. Make sure you share, with other your friends and family members for everybody to benefit out of this. Okay, that is the plan. But we've seen across Africa how they're trying to suppress social media. And but because they know that it's not going to work, what thing they don't begin do, especially like the government of Sierra Leone, the illegal government of Sierra Leone, I have to qualify that. I hope everybody listening to this live will understand that the current regime in Sierra Leone is illegal, from the president all the way through parliament, ministers, the police, the military, civil servants. Everybody is illegal. Where they occupy any semblance of government, they are illegal because the elections of June 24, 2023 has not been announced. I hope everybody understand that. Now, let's see. This is what I want to do for you. What is actually happening in Kenya, and I'm going to draw a contrast because I see government of Sierra Leone. If I say government, please qualify the illegal, right? The illegal government of Sierra Leone. I see them bring them picking their way they in social media. They do TikTok and all kind, which it is their craft. I'm not gonna frown at them for that. Let them do what they do. But then say the government pay $52,000. So I want to share this with you guys. Let me see. Now I'll go down follow this story. All right. Let me see.
Influencers or TikTokers or content creators collab together and
So what is your message to Sierra Leoneans?
Sierra Leoneans, keep up the good work, keep up the consistency. Please encourage your content creators, the little and upcoming ones, and I believe also collaborate with them. All influencers or TikTokers or content creators collab together and build a large community in Sierra Leone. And trust me, it will go far and wide.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So what is your message to Sierra Leoneans?
So you would say, this is beautiful. $52,000. Now I didn't go pay this speaking just for bringing camera Sierra Leone. So you go to them schools them when I got schools them. Listen, I'm going to speak Creole to this because I know it's a thing that affects Africa, but I want to talk Creole for everybody, so nobody will say I don't understand this. All right, this is terrible. In as much as we want to encourage the social media space, but we have to be very cautious because we know there is a campaign across Africa to ensure that we picking them, we picking and not pay attention to the civic duties and the civic responsibilities, particularly in Sierra Leone at this particular point in time. So I want you guys to pay attention to that. For this government, because they might tell you it's not the government, because I don't even know who paid $52,000. If it's the government, you guys tell me, where did the funding come from? Who paid for the $52,000 for letting speaking yes or come out Nigeria for come Sierra Leone for come motivate? We on school picking them for letting go into social media because social media is the new thing. Yes, social media is the new thing. Social media has now make Africa don't waken up. It has awakened, a lot of our brothers and sisters in Africa. When you take platforms like WhatsApp, this Facebook, right, the YouTube, the level of information. But you one big fool, now you go left big fool. So good thing for social media. We love social media. It's a channel. It don't give we all platform for challenge governments them, right? Governments them that are legal and governments that are illegal. But in Sierra Leone, our own case, at the town of say, the campaign of this social media is basically meant to distract the Pikidem from not participating in their civic responsibilities, from not performing their civic duties. They don't get civic education. They want to use social media for control the space. That is why if you look at, there's this guy, Joseph Sano, where they go around, blah, 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 blah. They say they call himself the chairman of associations of bloggers in Sierra Leone, whatever. I don't know if the Ministry of Information, they support them. I don't know if Cherin or Siba is in line with them for form, an association of bloggers. But of course, even that is bullcrap, right? Because it is just like you get a choice for belong to an association or of some sort. For example, inside governments, then at this part of the world, you get some, especially within the government system, you get what they call, bargaining employees. Women say they join the union, give them more protections and stuff like that. But if you don't want to join, you don't want to join, not to force, right? But these governments, what they're doing is to distract our picking them for letting feel to say social media is the only thing to do. And social media, as beautiful as it is, but I don't want to take away from the point that these governments have a responsibility bigger than just social media. We're talking about creating, employment opportunities for our kids. Not all everybody get for do social media. Not all man get for go on social media. Not all man get what he take phone and do social media blogging. Then pick do kudos to them. That's all well and beautiful. And we have to be very cautious that again, social media, now because some people they make money in social media. That is why you see so much craziness. You get views, they pay you money. Facebook, all these YouTube, these platforms, them TikTok, they pay you money. But what thing for happen? What time for they get for clock that money, they lock the more to say that money come out. If Facebook decides to say, I don't pay anybody money, believe it or not, what thing they get for do? A lot of our brothers and sisters in Africa today are so reliant on social media for their income, for their ways of making a life for themselves and their families, because governments have failed them. So social media is the only way to go. So that's why you see a lot of craziness, a lot of foolishness. They're not paying attention to the issues that are affecting their lives anymore. I hope you guys are understanding where I'm going with this. Social media is a beautiful thing, but we don't allow governments them for use social media for distractory, whereas people are paying attention to the funny, calo nonsense, and they look on social media, they see some video there within the Sierra Leone community, and they get 100,000 views, 200,000 views. Then you look video there when people are talking about governance issues that are affecting the lives of them brothers and sisters there. When you look videos that if you get something to do with the Kush epidemic and stuff like that, somebody like me come now and analyze videos like that and talk about the repercussions and ramifications as a whole on society. You know, they get have views there at all because the average Sierra Leonean not there by anything serious. People, they mask them poverty, them pain, and these are things we talk about all across social media. What's up? Myself, Cashbox, brother brother Hotmail, Sister Lioness, these are things we talk about. Maybe I talk about it more so for them to pay attention to them, for parents them to understand that the government in Sierra Leone, particularly right now, when they use social media for, because they know they're going for stop this space, they know everybody get the rights to free speech, section 25, subsection 1 of the Constitution of Sierra Leone. So what they've done, they've channeled that energy, say, okay, let's see how we can control them. So we go control what's in they talk, what's in they bring out. Because if you watch these guys, they don't pay attention to government issues. They don't pay attention to the problems we'll get. We electricity wahala, we water wahala, we healthcare wahala. They don't pay attention to things like that. Then they come and use social media for control the space only for suit their own narrative. The information where they want let go out, that is the information that is going to go out. But it's nothing, they touch the president, you don't go touch the ministers, them, you don't go touch. I mean, this is what is actually happening. So I want to play with one video now real quick. And this video now from Kenya. Kenya recently, matter of fact, let me not explain this. I want you guys to see this video from Kenya. You understand exactly what I'm talking about. But watch this. This is from Kenya. I want you guys to see this.
If you are planning to attend Kenya's National High School Theatre Competition, you would obviously be expecting to see some drama. But this year, if you are planning to attend Kenya's National High School Theatre Competition, you would obviously be expecting to see some drama. But this year, it just wasn't drama on the stage, but it wasn't just rather on the stage where the dramatics were happening. It's after police fired tear gas at curious crowds who'd gathered to see a controversial play called Echoes of War performed at the festival. It had been initially disqualified from the event under unclear circumstances before a judge ordered it to be included. The play is set in a fictional kingdom where young people have lost faith in their leaders and features battles with the police. Now, that might be uncomfortable viewing for some politicians in Kenya, with the country seeing wide-scale protests led by young people against tax rises last year. So why do authorities want to bring the curtain down on a school play in the first place? Well, Albert Kirui looks at the play and its author.
That infamous song again. One that has kept the Kenyan government on its toes, more so after last year's anti-tax hikes protests in Kenya. Only this time, students from Butere High School in Western Kenya are expressing their dissatisfaction after authorities barred them from performing their play at the highest level of the country's annual drama festivals. The play, dubbed Echoes of War, highlights the role of digital media in government and the power of the youth in changing the society. This has been seen as a reflection of Kenya's current political atmosphere. Early in the day, the police lobbed tear gas canisters as Kenyans flocked the venue of the festival to watch the play. And Wednesday night, at least 6 journalists were injured during the play rehearsals.
How are we supposed to rehearse? Tear gas was in the air. How do you want us to do that? Diffusion. Tear gas was in the air. Everywhere. How do you want us to rehearse? We were denied the chance to rehearse because everyone else went to sleep. While everyone else was rehearsing, we were chased home. We were told to go home.
The play was written by Kenyan playwright and politician Cleophas Malala. He is a renowned scriptwriter and a former senator.
I had 7 plays that I had scripted in this festival. 5 of them managed to come to the nationals. I want to announce here that you'll be seeing some of my plays being performed on that stage, and I will personally ensure that they disseminate the right information.
This is the second time in a span of 12 years that this same high school, together with Mr. Malala, find themselves in the news for producing a play that has rubbed powers that be the wrong way.
About. This is the kinds of activities we want to be picking them for engaging in school. When I see this play, the reason behind Kenya, for una way they follow, everybody una know say Kenya has been cracking down very heavily,
BBC News.
On opposition since last year when they get that protest. But this play when them picking the right so, when they for supposed for act because they get this annual event na Kenya, which is a good thing because I even surprised say the government, as despotic as they are right now in Kenya, they've not summed up the courage to cancel and ban that kind of play. But we go see this kind of a thing in Sierra Leone when Pekin will come together, because this is all part of the civic education that we're fighting to promote, using social media as a vehicle to take us there. So social media is very important, but civic education is waiting the government, the illegal government of Sierra Leone. They try for suppress to a point where they want for just control the space, then they control the narrative, basically waiting they want for come out. So then school picking there, then it's Taiwan and Kenya. I want for play on an interview where the leader of the opposition, actually I think is the Speaker of Parliament in Kenya, and we recently do an interview with Mehdi Hassan, where he talk about the violence when they come upon the people of Kenya. That time when they protest against the government when they want for pass a budget. I want you guys to see why the Kenyan people are actually, very defiant lately. And to the point where, you see where the schools, they come together, forget them play there, they want to come perform a particular concert, they play where they want to perform, so they play where they talk about the government, the acts they what they do, the bad things that they do for suppress the, civic education that they continue, suppress the rights of free speech and stuff like that. When I see to the extent where the government they go out for ban the play, for stop them, because they say, of course, you all know, they don't want to create a level of awareness. So in Sierra Leone, these are the things what we expect. If they tout civic education, we foresee them from the elementary process in our schools, all the way through. When last when I go see a play where school picking them act, we get for do with governance, where they challenge the status quo. When last when I see anybody write a play in Sierra Leone, we don't go even allow for them perform that particular play their concert. Now the schools them, we high schools them. Instead of that, the government they go pay money to a picking a blogger in Nigeria, where anybody can get inspiration. I think Sierra Leone we have a young man where they call Unasabia, where they say they act Nigerian movies there now. I don't know your name a couple of times. I go look for, I go share on it, which I talk about. But we get a kind of person there. Social media is just the environment. First of all, I don't even get proper internet. But before I even go deep into all of it, let's play this Speaker of Parliament for Kenya, where they interview. I'm not like you really kind of acts the way they perform against the people.
Yeah. Because I'm going to believe a human rights group over a politician who started by saying, I won't give you straight answers.
It is their take, Mehdi. It is their take. And I didn't come here to give their take. I came here to give my take and the perspective.
So they're wrong, you think? The police officers are being held to account?
They're wrong because the police officers must be held to account.
But they haven't been.
And that is why we have institutions that will hold them to account.
So what you said today about the deaths sounded good. You said it's regrettable, there should be no loss of life. That's what you say here. What you say in Kenya is a little bit different. This is what you said in December about the abductions of young people. You said that they're a way for people to basically rig-con the system. You said these people, quote, they're not really abducted, you said, quote, they're locking themselves in Airbnbs with their girlfriends and hiding. Are you saying that all these abductions, Kenyan parents crying over missing children, bodies turning up in rivers, that's people pretending, hiding with their girlfriends in an Airbnb? Do you understand how offensive that sounds?
Mehdi, I was speaking in Bungoma County, and the context was the clamor for, there was the misconception that every other abduction in the country was being perpetuated by security agencies. But what I said is that we have laws in the country that people who are construed to have broken the law in terms of the Computer Misuse and Cybercrimes Act, if they are found culpable, the DCI or the police should and must arrest them and take them before courts of law, because that is what they deserve. And the police and security agencies have no business abducting anybody, and nobody should be abducted.
But they are abducting people.
By security agencies.
But they are abducting.
Allow me to make my point, because you asked me a question. And it is in that context then that I said, and again, it is not all cases, Mehdi, that were out of abductions or what was construed to be abductions. And let me tell you, there were cases where people, somebody was holed up in an Airbnb, but reported himself as abducted.
But for you as a leading politician in the country, where people are being disappeared in a democracy in 2024, 2025, it seems a strange thing to focus on, not the kids whose bodies are being found in rivers and forests and warehouses with gunshot wounds to the head and the neck. And instead of focusing on that, you focus on one case of somebody in an Airbnb. Seems strange.
Mehdi, I also say there are cases of political conspiracies where people...
Can we talk about the cases that are open and shut, police, intelligence services abducting kids? You accept that happens in your country? Your government and your intelligence services have abducted innocent people. You accept that?
It has been claimed. Those are matters.
Not claimed, it's happened.
It has been claimed.
You don't accept it's happened?
I do not believe there are enforced disappearances perpetuated by the state in Kenya. Not in this day and age. We have an administration which, for the first time, none other than the president himself committed that never again will Kenyans have to disappear and you fish their bodies out of River Yala or River Tana like happened some time back. And therefore, why I say they are claims, because they are claims that are being investigated.
They're not claims. Let me give you a fact. Can I give you a fact?
Unless you give me fact.
I'm going to give you a fact right now, because the audience around the world watching may not know this. The attorney...
And you guys, everybody understands what is actually happening in Kenya is what is happening in Sierra Leone. Abductions, killings, right? We know, say, family members. There are lots of family members them today. We don't even know say their loved ones today. But I'm giving you this case because I want you to see how the Kenyan people are actually, talking about these. This guy get courage. Oh, this is the leader of we're in government currently in power. Now I'm going to take this interview. Get courage, bad one. This is the equivalence of let me forget somebody like Abdul Kagbon and taking interviews on Al Jazeera, talking about what has actually happened, the terrible things that have happened to the APC people. Or having Mikailu Mansari speaking to Al Jazeera and talking about the terrible things that have happened. Or Cherikoko, or Payan Sane, all these APC executives, right? Talking about these issues so the world would know what's in the happiness Sierra Leone. But again, I don't want to get lost in this. I just want to know exactly the terror where the people of Kenya, don't they go through all this time, and how it's important for us to point
General out. Of Kenya.
Because this is the reality of what is actually happening. So that is why I want to see this play with MPK and Kenya, because again, when we talk about promoting civic education, right? Not for control the narrative. Allow people for doing things. Because in Kenya today, they have a serious opposition. What we lack in Sierra Leone is a serious opposition. So now continue from where we stop there with this BBC documentary. Let us listen.
Well, joining me now in studio is Christine Mungai, a journalist, writer, and the outgoing lead curator at the Baraza Media Lab here in Nairobi, Kenya. Christine, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Ahiga.
In your view, what made this particular play so controversial?
Well, I'm not even sure controversial is the right word, because if you have any idea of what the high school drama festivals are like, or what the English literature syllabus is all about, It's heavily political from the word go. These are the books that we read in high school, which were transparently political. They critiqued social issues and they set the stage for an imagination for a better future. That's really the basis of education, and that should be the ideal for education. And so describing the play even as controversial, I think, is problematic because it's very much in line with the kind of books and plays that are already part of the syllabus and that are part and parcel of the Kenyan education system.
But nevertheless, and that's an interesting point you raised, why do you think it irked some within the political class so much, if it's not controversial?
Well, I don't know exactly. What I would suspect is that a lot of times what we've observed over the past few years is a very kind of arbitrary, reactionary stance by this government that even though there might be other situations that warrant their attention, that they would actually be triggered by something like this. The way that it has unfolded is that this play actually went through the different stages of qualifying for the nationals. So it was performed at the sub-county level, the county level, the regional level, and it actually passed all those levels. It got top prizes and qualified for the next round, right? So by the time the flag is being raised that this is a problem, this play had been performed and had been given high marks.
And this police reaction, because those are some of the images we have on the screen, what does it say about the state of freedom of expression in Kenya?
Well, I don't think it says anything good because, I mean, you know, today I tweeted, I said, what year are we living in right now? Are we living in like real life Sarafina? Because in so many...
Sarafina, the South African play.
Exactly.
Very popular movie as well.
Exactly. And the plot of Sarafina is high school kids who are being prevented from putting up a play or a musical that critiques apartheid. And this has happened both in fiction and in real life all across Africa, even right here in Kenya. And it's only a paranoid regime that would react to 15-year-olds with police. I mean, even the optics of what we've seen today is just extraordinary.
But there are those who support some of the actions today because, for example, the government says that education matters are being politicized. And some have questioned why a playwright, who's also a politician, would take advantage of young learners to score political points. Don't you see any political messaging, from a person like, that former lawmaker, for example?
First of all, Cleophas Malala has been a playwright for at least 12 years, from even the report that we've just seen. As far back as 2013, he's been writing plays that have been performed at this very same drama festival. And he's been a very consistent playwright all through, even through his political career. But I think it's really disingenuous to use that framing of politicians are using the children, when I think the framing that we should be going for is that why is it that politicians are getting worked up at this kind of expression, when the reality is politicians engage in theater all the time.
Have you heard the response from government? What are they saying?
Well, I've seen a lot of statements, along the lines of what you're talking about, that this is Cleophas Malala trying to prove a political point.
This lawmaker who also wrote the play.
Correct. Who has had his own kind of political journey, which I don't think we have time to get into. But I think that's really besides the point. Because the constituency that is taking advantage of anyone is the politicians themselves. It's the current administration that actually denies the futures and the dreams of Kenyans.
Okay.
And lastly, like I said, politicians themselves engage in political theater all the time.
Wix, one platform, any website, unlimited creation. Describe your needs and goals. And AI.
Right? But I'm using Kenya as an example, but we all know what is actually happening in Sierra Leone because I have
NBC political analyst and Boston Globe columnist Kimberly Atkins-Storr. She co-hosts the hashtag Sisters-in-Law podcast. Also with us is Justin Wolfers, professor of economics and public policy at the University of Michigan. Justin, can I just...
happening for let government go pay, that kind of money we didn't pay for just bring a social media.
Build a large community.
Come and say for kind of encourage other people in Sierra Leone. That in itself is very concerning where I see these. But again, because the government, this is a legal government, but their aim now for distract with picking them so much, everybody for just the foolery and buffoonery whilst they continue for siphon the resources of the nation, continue for keep them poor and terrible, thinking, say, oh, let me just inspire them for do more social media. More social media. Because yes, social media is good. It's a good thing for the one that they use them. Then they make money out of them. But social media should not be the end all and the be all. That should not be what we promote. Therefore, you as a parent, when I get a responsibility for what you're not picking and they watch on social media, waiting at the platform they follow on social media. If all they are picking and they on TikTok and Kalo business, that is what they're gonna grow up for becoming in the society. Because that is all they see. If you picking them, they watch channels, them platforms like these, where they talk about the civic responsibilities, talk about civic education. We're going to empower them and prepare them for say, when they finish high school, they get ready for go to college. Some of them are the parents, them when I get for suffer, when I get for struggle, for spend money, for pay for them picking there, for them to go school. These are the things we'll get for pay attention. We picking themselves land from that early stage. When they did a primary school, they don't begin to teach them proper civic education. What is the syllabus today in Sierra Leone? What's the curriculum today on civic education in Sierra Leone? They will not touch on these issues that are actually affecting the development of Africa. When you look at Africa today, you look at the continent in itself, it is a shame. They grapple with water problems. Some of them are picking them get for the grab almost o'clock morning for go get water. In the process, that they kill them. In the process, that they rape them. So these are the things where we come now for talk to and tell them for say, if a government gets, then they send them away because they put them away on the blast because now they get one of the platform they were see say people they pay attention to so much. Oh, so kalo all day. I can go into them pages now. I want to see what they're
doing. And trust me,
look at the page. So kalo stuff them. So kalo stuff. Nothing serious. Nothing to hold government accountable. Enjoyment. This is all you see on these platforms. But these are the platforms them where they get access. I even see the politicians and how they use them there. But these are the platforms. Not the whole government accountable. Not savvy anything about civic education. They won't even savvy anything about the constitution. But watch them platform there. All the kalo video. Now they see this titi where they come with waiting candidate. Look there. If I click on them, let me see what they talk about. Look how many views this platform get. Want to see how many views? How many followers they get? 263,000 followers on Facebook. They are probably making money. I don't know. But this is what in the SLPP one, and they use them but there. Then where I will not get no sense of anything other than just for say, okay, the focus for them were how to make money on social media. God knows how much they're going to pay them on Facebook for doing this. But they're not holding governments accountable. So the government promotes these kinds of things because now this is a way for them but they have to survive. You have to run them platform there. This is the only way for survive. They forget about government responsibilities, right? The government can do whatever they want to do. And they cover the government ministers them. Hey, but can't tell you about what's happening there. The politicians, they use them. They make a small, short, like 20 seconds video. They share them. This is what they want the young people of Sierra Leone to pay attention to. They energize them for going to civic participation. You go, but like this, they get mind for challenge the government, get an opinion on your own, for talk about the dilapidated, structures within the country. They get mind for talk. They go, hey, look this school here. Then they suffer with water. How do I do for this water now? That is all it is. That is if they even go near the side. So the government get the mind for pay somebody for come na Sierra Leone, picking like a dandy. Look what if when they go pay $52,000 for come for car, they I see the school picking them, girls school and the Walsh, FSSG or whatever school they will go to. They picking them all the come. Hey, look at influencer, social media influencer. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? They picking their way 20 years from now and they get for dinner the line back. Would I go become prostitutes? Go become prostitutes. Would I go for become a drug dealer? Dip and drug business. Would I go for the on kush? Dip and the on kush. Civic education. Holding governments accountable. Whenever they organize, they can play their way in the organized like Kenya. For talk about and express themselves using, the stage. I must play them on the scene of Sierra Leone. With theater day like a today Sierra Leone. Usaide. Everybody then get association of bloggers, then they use their platform there for come and they promote.
to go far and wide.
Thank you very much.
So
what is your message to Sierra Leoneans?
Sierra Leone.
Because what you know for see alternate kalo enjoyment. I don't know they call them TV show and TV. All in that is what Paramount store. And that is why these governments don't understand that. Then they use the social media for continue for distract from the real issues that are actually affecting our lives. We can watch this. Whatever this they talk, I don't know. Whatever this they talk now, but it's not look like any serious business they go now. I mean, you will say, Brian, not all man go do what you they do. The society get for move on, people get for live their life and be lightened up a little bit and all of that. I get that and I totally understand. Yes, there is a thing for that. But in Sierra Leone today, with the issues that we have, the troubles, the problems, the societal wars went on before with people, the drug epidemic, we get the biggest drug lord in Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone should be on standstill. It should be on standstill. We get election where the results has not been announced. Then where they talk about that, they would never talk about that. You know, you read about like this when they run them platform there. This is just one of them. But you go on Facebook today. I mean, the feed, you feed all you see. That's also the nonsense. Either the artists, they see nothing serious. And the program that was serious, they see followers on social media. I know they come now for brag and boast. When it comes to social media presentations and having a page, having YouTube, having Twitter, without me bragging, I'm the biggest social media person in Sierra Leone, both in the diaspora and back home. The influence that I have on social media, because I'm spread. I'm across every social media platform. I didn't make time. Me and the one at the same level. We're not on the same level. Me and everybody are. But I'm making time because I love that country and I want to see that country to improve. I swear to God, if Sierra Leone becomes an improved nation, all these social media platforms, right, I know they say I will keep one, but I will disappear. If I just say we country to get electricity, clean drinking water, we get proper hospitals, them healthcare system. Like they always talk, I just want to take care of the healthcare system in that nation. I guarantee you 6 months I turn them around. If I work for the US government now and taking care of healthcare and taking care of people and coverage and everything, taking care of hospital, as a patient administrator inside the United States of America, if I can do that, what's in a Sierra Leone, a small country we want to go for do and for, make sure say every citizen is covered, insured, and it become a crime for you as a citizen not for if you miss your 6 months checkup, because we want a healthy population, not for just talk about human capital development. It is about acting it. So you see, say in Africa, in Sierra Leone, social media space, they are only encouraging social media if you dance to their tune. If you're not dancing to their tune, you are not going to have their favors. You're not going to do that in good books. So people like myself who's coming here and challenging them, because they don't say, when it comes to that intellectual level, we're there. They don't want people like we, and I'm big on civic education. If the government, this illegal government, they use civic education today, it is from people like myself. And I challenge everybody again. Now we begin our civic education. We make people know where. People don't become very aware of the situations of what is actually happening. Now make people don't know, say, we're not going to win the election. The political party tell you, say, you don't win the election, let us move on. But then picking when they go school so today, when they run, they go bring this TT from Nigeria for Kamala then schools, for Kawaka. We picking them like FSSG, girls school, and the Walsh. And most of them, whether between the SS Becker level to SSS 1, 2, and 3. We even know the elections that was held June 24, 2023. The results has not been announced. How many of them picking any sabident in a day? If we can get these guys them on social media for push those narratives, then the social media now is being used positively to impact a civic space and civic participation. But no enjoyment. Look at this city where they go bring for car. Look at her. Look in your style like it. Look the influence, first of all, the kind of influence we picking here. If me get girl picking, I don't want to kind of style there and I'm a girl picking a hit there at school. But look at this. Look at that. Look the thing where he puts the paste all line here. Look where they waiting. This is the influence that we're picking in the sea. This is the influence that they see. They're picking in rich side, they don't begin to put false here at the head. You can't tell them about social media influencer. Social media is open book. It is a space for everybody. You get small cell phone today, they for do social media. You got something we're passionate about. China, other countries, they are using social media effectively for them picking them. They don't even fully show. Then TikTok them na innovation. Scientific advancement. That is what they are on. When you look at the TikTok space in China, they don't make nonsense. The China never go find somebody for can promote they're waiting to them. I can show you this now. Look at this. You research what TikTok in China. TikTok, known in mainland China and Hong Kong as Douyin, is a social media and short form content platform. Is TikTok allowed? What is the Chinese version of TikTok? What is replacing TikTok in China? Why does look at all of this? When you look at the American TikTok accounts, I don't go for showing a TikTok account, but these are the things. Somebody check out the Chinese version of TikTok. Let's see now what it looks like. Let us see what it looks like. I want to show you something here. So, somebody gonna just read it. It say, I decided to check check out the Chinese version of TikTok. It's not what I expected. You see, it say I had the idea to check out the Chinese version of TikTok to see how it's different from American TikTok. I had heard China cracks down on its version of the app, making educational videos appear and suppressing subversive content. That really was not the case from what I saw, though. While I saw some cool stuff like cooking and video game content, I was quickly served up with some creepy videos, including animal abuse and some. So what's the deal? Is the American notion that Douyin is engineered to make Chinese people great citizens totally false? What reputation does Douyin have? I'm curious from the perception of an American who knows within. People are doing their own research to find out. But we have to promote, especially in Africa and in Sierra Leone, giving the state of affairs as it is, as terrible as things are. We believe that we're picking them, and every citizen, every Sierra Leonean, not for pay attention to nothing else, but for pay attention on how we can solve the same problems that we cry about every day. We have to come together and say, okay, yes, let's use social media now for wake up, that enlightenment. Let we bring developments come now we country. Nobody know for the pan jabla enjoyment na Sierra Leone. Yes, all work and not play makes Jack a dull boy. Have some fun a little bit, but to God in this day, the priority for every citizen in Sierra Leone and outside of Sierra Leone should be what we for do for make sure say all the social issues, the economic issues that we're dealing with, the justice issues that we're dealing with, we make them a priority to focus on those issues. Not to forget bring picking them from Nigeria where they do TikTok, they make robots and this and that and all that nonsense should be the priority that we should be thinking about. For the problems that we have, people are dying senselessly. I see a video by this guy, Timbo, we retired from Parliament. We resigned from Parliament. We're still in at the APC party anyway. Sorry, he resigned from the APC executive, but he's still in Parliament. He said he lost in Granny. I mean, sympathy to him and family. Using Granny for staging campaign. You know, that's in itself, it's just terrible but I'm not going to get into his family business, any other business. The fact of the matter is, it's not strange that salon for no people and they die in hospitals. The hospital in Delaware today is a death trap. Social media should be used effectively for creating awareness around those issues in Sierra Leone. That should be the priority of any blogs, any of these blogs. So I said to Una, I appeal to Una where they follow them, but they give them unnecessary attention. We make delicate, they don't focus on anything serious. So God in this day, Una get a responsibility. Either Una unfollow them, or they do the right thing and produce the right content. So to enjoyment, no more for long, sit down for laugh. Let them go to the hospital. Let them travel across the country. Go show the victims them where they suffer as a result of the kush, the drugs. Let them take a challenge Agnes Bio when a mother Bio and girl picking. Where they date Boleos, the biggest drug lord in Sierra Leone. Social media should be used for that in Sierra Leone at this point. If that's not the use of social media to bring awareness to the social issues and economic injustices, the civic, violation of people's rights, the violation of people's political rights. If those issues there, not when people pay attention on social media at this particular point in time, then there is no point. Stop following foolishness. The other day I read some platform on Facebook. Every man they talk, Salomon, the issues they discuss, man, it's just beyond me, man. But I tell you again, and I tell you why this government in Sierra Leone, this illegal government, they prioritize social media over civic education and civic participation. Now, because they want to control the narrative so that the Pekin them go focus on foolish and kalo and nobody not go be serious for once. That is terrible in itself. And this is what we should all ask for. We know, say, across the continent of Africa, we are losing, our rights to free speech, our rights to civil liberties, our rights to even votes now is being lost. We see what's in the happen. Now Uganda, outside you get Museveni. We see Bobby Wine. Bobby Wine only challenged Museveni for so many years as a young man. He's there. But Africans believe, say, that is the right thing to do. You have to fight. You have to continue to fight. And people for lost their lives in democracy. No, it shouldn't be that way. Nobody never go jail because they want for contest presidency. I don't believe in that. We are civilized human beings. Let us act like civilized people for once. Dr. Samara come and say, I don't want me people...
Keep up the good work, keep up the consistency. Please encourage your content creators, the little and upcoming ones. And I believe also collaborate with them, all influencers or TikTokers or content creators, collab together and build a large community in Sierra Leone. And trust me, it will go far and wide.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So what is your message to Sierra Leoneans?
Sierra Leoneans, keep up the good work, keep up the consistency. Please encourage your content creators, the little and upcoming ones. And I believe also collaborate with them, all influencers or TikTokers or content creators, collab together and build a large community in Sierra Leone. And trust me, it will go far and wide.
Thank you very much.
This is
what is your message to Sierra Leoneans?
Sierra Leoneans, keep up the good work, keep up the consistency.
And then they get 263,000 views on followers on Facebook. And I've been on Facebook, I don't know how long, I'm sure longer than these boys. I think they now get 78,000 followers. But because I know they put foolishness. I know they post nonsense. I'm posting things that we get for do with the improvements of Sierra Leone. So we all go be proud of a beautiful country with everything that we have, the resources that we have. But look at these people they had a platform there. Now they all belong to the association. I see where this Bobo go to Fatima Bio. Where Sano Kerangode. Now he can go to Fatima Bio. So these are the things we're saying. Look at them. These platforms promote nothing serious. So the governments don't see that. They say, oh, you know what? We're not going for suppress social media. So what we do? Let we bring them on board, control what they give, the narrative that they're giving, so that we go control that space there. But I say to them that they are lying. Because people like myself are here for point out to parents them. We want to get on picking them. Social media is good. Well, I don't want to think about this. Because a lot of people do like it today. Even like in Nigeria, they don't really capitalize on social media. But what if Facebook decides today? Or what if YouTube then decide today and say, no, we don't pay nobody again for the social media? What is going to happen? So we don't have to use social media for create an excuse for governments them, especially in Sierra Leone, not to pay attention to the priority issues that really affect your lives. Let me be safe then, discontinue paying people on social media. Because I don't make money from social media. If you're making money, good on you, that's fine. I don't make money on social media. I'm not on social media because of the money. I don't care about on you. I would really wish for make money on social media if I could. There are other things I could do. If I want to capture Africa, I don't even look on your side, bruh. I get the content there. I sabi for bringing content in the way that they capture Africa. But again, still, within Africa, political content is not a go far. What you don't go far in Africa, you therefore bring some iota of kalo inside business day, on seriousness a little bit. Bring your personal lives. Me and my wife now will begin make palava kind of social media. Can't see the views them. Yes. Because that is how they know remote we. And we have to change that narrative about ourselves. And even the world, across the world, people are just drawn to foolishness constantly. People are not serious anymore about serious issues. But in America, I can understand the picking why. They don't worry about light, water, electricity, or good hospital, or good schools, transportation. They don't worry about that. Everything is available. But in Sierra Leone today, social media, the only thing we're for use them for right now, not for no foolishness, not for no kalo, we for use social media for call the attention and continue for point the light on the issues that they cry for. People already die in our hospital. Can you imagine if we're able to get somewhere every day? People are bringing those to the social media. People are dying. Look at the accidents that already happen. when I go see them about the asshole, do a thorough analysis of those accidents, the road accident in day. If they mention them in passing, but then go talk about the actual concerns and the issues, the fact that drivers, they don't get control, everybody just loose, people don't get driver's license and they drive anyhow. No speed limits and they are there at home. We don't get police there where they man the highway them. Yeah? They go talk about those deep issues. We got for call the government out for lack of their responsibility. Now, the accidents were happened recently along the Mashaka local area, where you say it takes 2 hours for them to respond. Then boy with their platform they wouldn't get their social media. They will call the government, say, hey, we're supposed to forget fire, EMS vehicles them, emergency workers them across the highway. We forget emergency hospitals them. We for them for response to them kind of accident. Yeah, within 5 minutes to 10 minutes. Then 15 people will die. We for don't save some time 10 of them or 12 of them. Or for don't save all of them. With time, because time is of the essence where accident don't happen. So possibly just in shock. If they get the appropriate treatment, they for apply AED pan them, CPR pan them, shock them, the heart, it can jump, start back. We save their life. Are those the things these boys are paying attention on social media to talk about? Educate people about to perform CPR. Those are the things we'll forget social media for in Sierra Leone. Those are the only areas we for use social media for right now. Calling attention to our civic issues, our social issues, our economic issues, infrastructural issues. When they talk so, they will understand what they talk. That Korea they talk so, but still, I don't say they way above their head. But when I go explain to them, but you see, the government is using social media for darkening our eyes, for blinding us, so that I go see. Say Marabio travel left, right, and center. Then mobile go cover. Say Marabio travel left, right, and center. Then go cover what they cost Sierra Leoneans them every day for Marabio travel business. Would they tell you how much it cost? They would not say anything about that because they don't cross the line, and that is not what they are on social media for. Not to make them get freedom. The only reason they get freedom, they never touch the office of the first lady. They don't go touch the president. They don't go touch ministers there. No, because if they dare, that freedom only then get so they go. When I listen to this video from Kenya, where Mehdi Hassan interviewed the leader of the opposition in parliament. Actually, he's a speaker.
Literally a serving member of the government. His son was taken. How did he get him released? Can you tell our audience?
The Attorney General of Kenya is called Dorcas Oduor.
Justin Muturi, the former Attorney General,
he's not been abducted. The person who has alleged that his son was abducted is the former Attorney General Justin Muturi. And
how did he get his son released?
And I'll tell you again, I have read from the media, heard Justin Muturi what he said, just as you heard it. It is an allegation by Justin Muturi, somebody who has...
Justin Muturi says he went to the president and said, President Ruto, the intelligence service have taken my son. President Ruto called the head of your intelligence service and his son was released.
Have you heard Mehdi from President Ruto on the same? Have you heard from the director of intelligence?
You tell me what's President Ruto's place. He denied it?
Guys, all of this happened in Sierra Leone and it's still happening today. But I'm using Kenya as an example so I go see exactly. But I want to listen to the atrocious atrocities them committed against Kenyans, similar to what happened in Makeni in Sierra Leone, what happened in Pareba Prison Massacre, what happened in Tombo, Lonsar, all of those killings. I have those videos. But let's listen to this.
Have you heard from him?
No, I don't live in Kenya. You're the expert. Has President Ruto denied that?
Why don't you allow then me to tell you my take?
Do.
Because that's your take.
Please.
From what has been reported.
That's not my take. I'm reporting a member of your government. This is amazing. I'm quoting a member of your government, not the opposition, a member of your government who you're calling a liar because he says his son was abducted.
That's why I told you Justin Muturi, the former Attorney General and current Minister for Public Service,
yes,
is a politician to begin.
Yeah. Anyways. All right, guys, I'm going to leave it right here, but I hope I'm very clear on our social media use. It is a beautiful thing, but parents, they want to pay attention. They're not picking them. Get what you take enough for do civic education and civic participation. I think it's important for you social media at this time in Sierra Leone for serve their purpose. Okay? Bye-bye, everybody. I'm going to leave it right here. Bye-bye.